Hello, Priyank. How are you, dear? Hello, Grace. Grace, is it the first time you're here? No, I think your name is familiar. You've been here a long while ago, I guess. Once or two times. I'm good, Priyank. Thank you. I'm back on Facebook until YouTube fixes the problem we have with the live talk. Some kind of a technical difficulty that when I go on YouTube for live talk, there are no announcements going out, so nobody can see that I'm live. So now, until they fix it, we're here. We were actually making quite a success out of our live talks. We had them for minimum an hour, but often it was 2, 3, 4 hours. Now we had many participants. Now suddenly a glitch, nobody sees it when I go live, so they can't join in. And they email me and comment on the videos that, where are you? How come there are no live talks? But I have no way of getting to them. So I just uploaded a short video, 2 minutes, let them know what is happening, why we don't have live talks, and that we are on Facebook. Hopefully they will get it and will join us eventually, and we'll have more of a live talks on Facebook until YouTube fixes the glitch. Priyanka says, I'm good. It's good to see you after long. Yes, dear. I'm glad that you're good. Muskan says, hello, hello, dear. And Grace says, I have been here before. I think you're an amazing person. Well, thank you very much. You made my day. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I hope you guys have all subscribed to the YouTube channel that I have, which the link is up there on the heading of this live talk. And we have over 1,200 videos on all different scenarios after breakups, and we have many different playlists, over 75 or 70, maybe 60, 65 or 70 different playlists, and many of them talk about things that happens and the thought process you have after breakup. And we have a playlist which has many videos in it on the topics of the psyche. Thought, what is thinking, how is it born, where does thinking comes from, what is consciousness, what is the relationship between consciousness and thoughts, how do they interact with each other, what is fear, where does it come from, how does it affect our lives, desire, pleasure, how is desire born, what is the process of it, the sequence of events before desire is born. I'm getting old, I forgot the words. and about, we talk about the role of pleasure in our life, and we also talk about the ego. What is ego? Where is it coming from? What does it do? And the relationship between all these elements or fragments of our psyche in our persona, in our center, in our life, how we negotiate our day-to-day life in this journey of life. So please do join the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe and click on the link, not on the link, on the bell, so when I'm live or any uploads are happening every day, you'll be notified, and then you can choose to join or not. So if you haven't subscribed, please go on YouTube channel and subscribe, and make sure that you will join us and share the videos that you like on your social media so others can see there's support available. And as you know, the contents are very effective and life-changing effects on many of you that I've heard back by emails and comments, thousands and thousands. So it will be doing your friends a good favor to let them know that this channel exists, and that also helps us to grow. And I thank you for that. Now that I've plugged the channel, let's see what we have here. We have Aman Azim watching. Asad says hello. Hello, Asad. Aman Azim is now in reality here, says hi sir. Goldfish on chest. Well, yes, actually it's a Hawaiian fish. I'm not sure what fish it is. I think I will find out later. That's the shirt my son brought for me from Hawaii, so it's one of my favorites. In cold, cozy days like this, it's very, you know, fitting. Jack, hello Jack. You found us here. I'm glad, just like last time. Well, I'm delighted to see more people joining us on Facebook than last time. Last time, you know, at one time when we were doing most of our live streams on Facebook, especially when I was doing the live talks on a page called The Amazing Things in the World, which was owned by a company in India called WittyFeed, and they had asked me to do live talks on their page. We used to have 25,000 people at each segment joining, and about 500-600 of them would join for the questions and would participate. The rest would be watching, so we have lots of viewers. Then I asked many of them to join my Facebook page, and they did. So when we eventually had our live talks on the Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth Author, which is my page on Facebook, we had lots of participants, at least about anywhere from 50 to 150 participants, and that was quite active. And then I switched to YouTube. That took us a while because we somehow are not considered a hot channel on YouTube yet, and people find us by accident. So all the announcements for live talks were here and there. So pretty much it took us lots of time and years to move up to that number. Now the glitch has wiped it all out. So we have to hope that the participants haven't gone away, and as soon as we get back, they will also join us back, hopefully. And Brenda says, so nice to see you. So nice to see you too, dear. And why don't you join us on YouTube? You know that I have a YouTube channel, so, and you guys found out about this page from YouTube channel, I believe, or have you? So please go onto YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, and then you'll see daily uploads on different topics, short videos. And of course, we had elaborate live talks, as I just mentioned, 3-4 hours live talks, and answering everybody's questions before we call it off for the day. So anyhow, I'm delighted to see you here too, Brenda. Aman says, so please make a video on, sir, please make a video on how to remain motivated in any task, especially when the task is time-taking. Well, I believe I have such videos among the over 1,200 videos that we have on the channel now. If you go on the search engine and type in a search engine on my channel and type in how to stay positive, or success and happiness, or negative thoughts, or things like that, that will give you a list of videos which you can see which one fits what you're looking for. But in the meantime, short of the long, I just put a few words on that topic here for you. When you're doing a tedious job, and a job that is time consuming, don't focus on the time that it takes for you to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Focus on the meaning of its completion to your life. Like, what is the benefit of it to you once it has already come to fruition and has been accomplished? Translate whatever you do to what it does for your life and for the plans you have for your life, for what you want to accomplish, the destination you want to arrive to in your life by the path that you have taken, which includes the stuff that you're doing. When you translate your effort on something to its benefit to you, for whatever reason it is that you've decided to do that, then the tedious job and time consuming would not be a matter, because you have a purpose, you have a reason for doing this, and you'll be striving to do that rather than being impatient with the time that it takes to be completed. Hope that will set you up on the right track until you see some of the other videos on the channel. And Debbie is watching. Hello, Debbie. Good to see you here. So, let's see. Well, you know, logically, by the number of videos that we have and number of amazing comments that we have received over the past years, we should have had at least 1 million subscribers, but we don't. And the channels who really don't make much sense or are not really that deeply helpful to people from what comments people have made have 400,000 or 500,000 or 800,000 subscribers and viewers, and I'm baffled. How is it? Because we definitely know that our contents are second to none and has had life-changing effects on many, many thousands of people around the world. But somehow we are not visible on YouTube. The algorithm doesn't recognize us, even though we've tried to upgrade the thumbnails, and the live talks are helping, and we put advertisements, but we still are invisible to YouTube viewers. Hopefully, with your help of sharing the videos that you like in our social media, and however you think you can talk about us to your friends and people that you're connected, maybe on your Instagrams or whatnot, help us out so we can at least get the word out to people around the world. They would know that they're not alone. There's support's available after breakup, and there are things that they can know about their thinking, their psyche, help them to be equipped with knowledge about themselves, how they tick. Therefore, it would not be a mystery the way they act or react towards a certain kind of a circumstance or happening. So we need your help to be more popular and available to people, and that helps us to grow as well. And Debbie says, please give me your opinion on depression. Depression is, of course, has a lot to do with hopefulness. When you become hopeless or you be disappointed, then you end up being on your way to be depressed, which means constantly we should be focusing on all the wonderful little things that should mean a lot to us, and it doesn't. We bypass all the little things that are basics of life, and we focus on the big things that really don't matter to life itself. It's just a luxury. Yet when we don't get the big things, we get disappointed, hopeless, upset, sad. And that triggers our hopelessness, and we think we don't have a good life. Wrongfully so, we go under the assumption that because we haven't arrived or achieved a big prize or big thing, and therefore we are not having a good life. While we should focus on the fact that if we have that big thing that we don't have and we're sad about it, or if we have the big thing, but we don't have all these little things that really are basics of life, we have no life. So life is not really put together by the big things. Life is put together, held together, and brought all these wonderful psychological security with the little things. You know, the fact that I have a place to be safe and sleep, a little thing to eat, something to drink, and most importantly, ability to breathe. These are what makes everything else that you desire in the world of importance or not. You can have the gold reserve of the world, but if you can't breathe, if you don't have something to eat or drink for days, you eventually die. So what is really the most important thing that we should focus on? The big things that not having it puts us in sadness and depresses us, disappoints us? Or the little things that is always available for free, never shortage of it, and then we can also, is the reason for us to be alive. And then to pursue all these big things that we either get them or not get them. So before you focus on your disappointments to be depressed by, focus on all the little things that gives you this life to expect some things more than what you have, and then be disappointed or not disappointed. So focus on those basics, the foundations that bring you to life and gives you this ability to expect other things. Not that if you expect other things and they don't come to fruition, then you should be disappointed. No, you should be disappointed when you don't have all these little things that really keeps you alive. That should be your motivation. Getting up in the morning, I can breathe, I can see, I can smell the tea, or the coffee in your case maybe. Savor it. Count your blessings. Wonderful things. Full of hope. Because there are all kinds of things in life that we may not get it or haven't gotten it and we want it. But they're not really that important. They're just like saying, I have a suit, keeps me warm and looks good, but I'm hung up on the fact that I don't have a certain kind of a medallion or some kind of a, I don't know, ornamental thing on it. Like if its button is not this shape, I want it to be this other shape. And we're hung up on the fact that the button is not there or the medallion is not there. Therefore, I'm disappointed, rather than focusing on the fact that you've got the suit. You're wearing it. That's the most important part. Not the gold button. It's useless in reality in providing you with clothing. The button is just a button. So many things in our life is just a button. If I have that beautiful car, if I have that much money, I know it's wonderful to have them, but really are not the suit. They're just a button. It makes it a little bit more flashy. That's all. But the reality of enjoyment of life is within our understanding of our own psyche, understand how we are put together, how we can tolerate, negotiate life, how we can find these little things and learn and study and research and enjoy all these wonderful things that is always available, not depending on big things that are sometimes available. So make your life focused on the availability of things that you need to survive, and they're always there. That should be the reason for your happiness, not the here and now thing, here and there things that sometimes could be available and make you feel like, oh, like $1 million, and then I got it, I made it. But when they're not there, then we feel like, oh, we don't even see the stuff that is out there and really is detrimental, instrumental to keep us alive and healthy and happy. So keep your focus on the prize, and the prize are the simple basic things in life. The rest of it, go get them. But if it didn't happen, who gives a shit? Don't worry about it. You already got the stuff that has made you winner, which is your basics of life. And that will give a less chance to be depressed. Now, there are lots of other things in that topic that we can talk about, such as, I don't know what your depression is about, so I can't specifically talk about it, but there are many things in this life that can cause us to be depressed. The way people behave with us, the treatments that we receive, the words that are being uttered, and the words mean something, and you think that that word describes you, so it affects you negatively, instead of focusing on the source of the word. Who said that word should be focused on. And therefore you will see that the power of the word by itself should be inconsequential. Because if you focus on the meaning of the word, and the word means something, and it's been proven, and you've accepted it in the dictionary, it has a meaning, and if it has a negative meaning, then you think that word, its power is affecting you. But no, instead focus on where did it come from. For example, if you're a pianist, and some Joe Blow walks in the street and doesn't know what piano is, and makes a derogatory comment about your piano playing, well, the words hurt you. But if you focus on who said it, you say, well, that guy doesn't even know what piano is. So why would I be bothered by his opinion about my piano playing? But if Mozart is passing by and says something derogatory, that means something. Or said something wonderful, it means something. But the Joe Blow who doesn't play piano, doesn't know how it is to play piano, and doesn't know even what tone and tones and music and notes are really all about, and makes a comment derogatory, you believe it. Why? Because the word has a meaning, and you believe in the meaning of the word. You shouldn't. You should focus on the source. So these are some of the things that makes you feel disappointed, upset, and then depression triggers and all that. But there are all other kinds of reasons and triggers for depression, which I don't really know the specific situation of yours, so therefore perhaps I should stop it here, and then hopefully if I have more information I can talk more intelligently about it, possibly. Now, let's go to Brenda says, oh, I'm loving this talk. Okay, good. You're spot on, Brenda says. Oops. And Patrick is here. Hello, Patrick. Says, Mehran, so good to hear your voice again. Male twin in Ireland. Hello, my Irish friend. From the land of green with wonderful horses. I love to visit Ireland. It's a magical land, I believe. So enjoy it, Patrick. Brenda says, you're spot on. Thank you, dear. Chris Bowers is watching. All right, Chris, don't be shy. Come on in. Join us. There are lots of little videos that I have written. It's concept, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, that I'm waiting for a proper opportunity to make those videos. I have to make my apparatus, my equipment a little bit more convenient rather than taking too long to set up. But I think in a month or two, I should be able to get on many videos that I've wanted to make you, and I haven't yet because I've been busy with trying to complete some other projects that I've been having, and now I have a little bit more time possibly, and so I will focus on that. So maybe in a month or two, hopefully I'll be in a position to make more new videos rather than the live talks and the trims from it. Although the live talks are very helpful and they have come to be very informative, because there's so many questions, different questions that people ask in live talks, and each answer is like a video by itself. So I trim them as much as I can, and then as much time as I can get, and then upload them individually, and they're scheduled to be uploaded and released, published every day. So you have every day a new video, which is part of the live talks, and they're very helpful, and they cover lots of topics for people who need it. Chris says, Mehran, hello Chris. Have you changed to FB? I missed you on youtube.com. Chris, no, I'm here on, not by necessarily preference, because we've been going very well, doing very well on YouTube, and we have a large base for our live talks, and increasing because we want more YouTube people to sign up and subscribe, so we will increase our subscription on YouTube so we can get more revenue, and the channel would have some kind of a money to spend on bettering the quality of the videos and allocating more time of mine and cutting out from the other projects that I have and focus more here. But recently, YouTube has been having some technical difficulties, and none of my live talks are broadcasted as far as alerting others to know. So I can be sitting there for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and nobody knows we're live. Somehow the signal doesn't go out that we're live. It doesn't alert my subscribers. And it really never did. People just got used to it and clicked on the bell and chose always instead of sometimes alerts, and they were alerted, and we ended up having you know, lots of people on the YouTube live talks. But recently, we were invisible before. Now we're totally in non-existence. so I'm now here on Facebook trying to you know, cheer people up to come to YouTube and join our YouTube and watch the 1,200 videos and more and counting. And in the meantime, have a live talk here, and hope that the YouTube people will be able to join here to at least have two you know, possibilities if one is not working. I just made a 2 minutes video before this live talk, uploaded on YouTube, letting everybody know that we are here for a while until YouTube, that I'm in contact with them, and they've promised that they're working hard to get the problem out. And so until then, we are here. And Debbie says, it seems that so many people are suffering around me. Aha. People who I love, and I want to know how to help them. Aha, I understand. So your reason for depression is the fact that you find yourself incapable, unable, not incapable, unable to attend and help everybody who is suffering around you. Well, guess what? I have news for you. Unless you are God, you cannot expect that from yourself. Because we are given this wonderful feeling of feeling about other people's miseries and sufferings. As a human being, we're connected. We feel other people's suffering, but we are not given that power that we can flick our finger and fix them all up because we want to. And this fact of that we want to, but we can't, we don't have the power, brings the frustration and depression in you. So first thing you got to do, recognize that you don't have the power and the authority or the responsibility to fix people's problems. You are also a people. You will have or could have or have had or might have problems yourself. Your only power is in order to fix, is enough or possibly can help you to help somewhat alleviate your own problems, or as much as you can do for the people nearest to you, most important to you, like your children or your loved ones and so on. But expecting you to become responsible and to be able to make a difference in such a way that would be visible and immediate to other people's sufferings, it's an unreasonable expectations, because I go through the same thing. For me, it was even worse. I would suffer for the miseries of people around the world. The children, the women, the men, the people who are being abused and being oppressed and mistreated and unfairly judged and disrupt their lives through lack of fairness and injustice, and then wars and imprisonments of just because what they say or what they think or what they believe. And look around the world, countries are bombing other nations who are innocent, and they just only focus on their own right rather than what's the right of the people that they're bombing. And it's happening all over the place. So all of that was really making me really sad and depressed. But until one day I realized that my sensitiveness towards the sufferings of people should not also give me the mandate to suffer that why I can't do anything about it, because I don't have the power. If I recognize the fact that I don't have that instinct power like a god to bring justice to everyone and help everyone to have a lovely, happy, secure, safe life for everyone in the world, if I don't have that power, then I shouldn't expect myself to be in pain. Just see what I can do, whether it's voting this way or that way, or whether it's sharing some maybe bread with someone who needs it if I can. That should be the limit of it. Otherwise, who am I? I can feel things, but I can't necessarily have the power. Recognizing this, then it gives you a limitation of responsibility. Then somehow you will be able to be a little bit more forgiving about your lack of ability to help all others around you, let alone all people who are suffering around the world. Thank you, Chris. So, hopefully we'll have YouTube fixing that problem and getting back to our normal, resume our normal schedules of live talks. Debbie says, thank you, brilliant as usual. Well, my pleasure, Debbie. I'm glad that you're here and it could be of some sort of helpful words. Have it dried up? Is it time for me to say goodbye? In YouTube, at least, on YouTube, we didn't run out of questions. Like, it took me there about 4 hours every time just to catch up with all the questions. So, and I'm here, so if you guys are having anything on your mind, throw it in. Relationships, or rather how your psyche works, things that have been concerning you, that's the time to talk about it. There are a bunch of lovely segments of the live talks that I have trimmed individually, and they will be uploaded within this month, I believe. It could be quite interesting. Some of these questions on the live talks are very helpful to many people when it is re-uploaded and you can have access to it. Brenda says, you make a difference. Thank you, dear Brenda. I appreciate the vote of confidence. And without blowing the channel's horn, I do believe we are making a huge difference. I receive hundreds of emails appreciating the contents of the channel, how it has changed their way of thinking, how they have put them straight on the path that they want to be on, how it has helped them to bring tranquility to them, how it has made life-changing differences, and some were just following their thoughts and thought patterns and negativities and disappointments, and you know, wanted to commit suicide. And I have many who have expressed their appreciation for realizing that how silly that idea was, and that they are now happy and strong and hopeful and focusing on building a life rather than taking a life. And these are some of the effects that our channel and the contents have had on people around the world, and this is what we are proud of. That is why I'm so eager and focused on being able to be recognized on YouTube and bring about that attraction and reach out to so many more people around the world and increase our subscriptions so we can help as many as we can. Not just the ones who find us by accident, which mostly do. They find us accidentally. We're an accident. We're like a child that mom and dad didn't intend to. So we want to make it purposeful. We want to make people to choose to look for us. For that, I need your help. to go on your social media, share the videos that you like, the videos that you think they're really hitting home with something, and share it. Or if you know some people in some, you know, public medium, newspaper or radio channel or television, they want to have a little bit of a report on our channel, they're most welcome to let them, encourage them to get in touch with me. We'll do an interview, like an interview that was done by the Big Smoke from Australia, and they're a medium, powerful medium, that they had a good interview with me a few years back. And another company in India, Witifeed, had an interview with me. And these are helpful for us to be recognized, rather than, you know, somewhere in the corner in YouTube, sea of videos, and people miss a real, genuine channel that can help them with the contents. And the contents are there for everyone to use free. Yes, we do have books to sell and to get finances and economically become healthy, and we have other packages that I'm going to be releasing, which helps everyone to simply go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and choose the package that we will be calling it the Ultimate Breakup Cure, which is a collective of videos, about 50, 60 videos in one product, and the other one is 80 videos, which is a different package, and they can purchase that, but then they will have an access to this playlist, which all the videos that can help them to get out of the rut that they're sitting in is there. It's accessible to them. So they won't have to look into the 1,200, 1,300 videos and don't know which one to look. Which one is going to help them fastest? Which one is most relevant to their situation, which is the breakup, and how they can move on. I have all those packaged, so you don't have to look for them, find out which is which. It takes hours, and you don't have that patience when you just broke up. So you can simply buy that package, and then you forever, you're, you know, for, you know, you're as long as YouTube is alive, you have access to that playlist. And then the next package is a one step up, which is 80, starts with 80 videos, and then it also adds as new videos I make, which is relevant to breakups and how to move on. And there are star videos. These are all star videos that have been collected, not just regular videos. The ones that are really helpful to most people around the world, they're bunched up in that playlist. And the second step up is more videos, but with the difference that the first package is, that's all you get, the 50 or 60 videos. The second package is a little bit more expensive, but along, beside the fact that it starts with more videos, it also adds to the videos as I make them. It'll be automatically added to that playlist, and you don't have to pay anymore. You will be connected to it and have access to it. Plus, that it will give you, includes all 3 books that I've written in ebook version, ebook form. So the second package is something like, I don't know, $108, but it gives you all the videos that you need to move out of the rut that you're in, understand your psyche, understand what's going on after the breakup, how to move on and all that, all the star videos that helps the most, and people have viewed it the most, plus that it expands as new videos come along without you having to pay it, and includes all the 3 ebooks that you have to individually buy if you don't have this package. So that, I think, would be some way that we can get some finances and, you know, help the channel to expand and do some advertisement and, you know, get our word out there and reach more people, help more people. But these, we do have some things to sell. Also the books that you can buy them in print or ebook on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. As you know, you can go on the site, click on the books. I have a little video about the book. You can watch that. Then you click on the book, see the table of contents, click further, gives you a sample chapter to read to see how the book, you know, grabs you, and so on, and then purchase it from there. Either in print, will be shipped to you, or in ebooks, which have made it so cheap now that everybody can afford. So we have things to sell, but my intention is to also have this whole 1,300 videos with the contents that is helpful to thousands around the world, free and ready for you to use whenever you want to, whether it's about your psyche or whether it's about your breakups situation and so on. So please do go on the YouTube channel, subscribe, and use what resources we have there, and also help us to be known a little bit more through your social medias and connections that you have, and that will help us all at the same time. I don't know why and what I wanted to say that I started this long train of talk, but it was a good plug anyhow. So let's see what we have here. It was about Brenda's kind word that said you make a difference. Thank you very much, Brenda. I appreciate it. Robert says, hi Mehran, 21 from Scotland. I commented on your last Facebook stream. I keep getting temptations. We have a book here, guys. Strap in, we've got a book coming. Robert has written a book here. Now, let me read it. Okay. So it says, 21 from Scotland. I commented on your last Facebook stream. Okay, thank you, Robert. I keep getting temptations to message my ex. Well, who wouldn't? I mean, you have an ex, anybody who has an ex, you have a temptation to reach them because all you remember is your intimacy and the warmth and the lovey-dovey, because the mind is made in such a way that wants to forget the bad stuff. That's why women who deliver a child with all the tremendous pain that they go through, they're ready to have another child just a few months after because they forget about that pain. That's how we're put together. We have a tendency of forgetting bad experiences so we can survive, so we can move on. That's worked into our genes, our abilities. That's one of the amazing things about human beings. So when you break up, naturally, you don't remember all the shit that went through. You only remember all the lovely things. You know, you all spiffed up and go out and, you know, hold hands or, you know, have fun and all that, and how intimate you guys are together and pleasant it is. And all that is why you're tempted to text her. But if you do remember the files that are in existence in your memory, the files that described to you and recorded all the shit that went on, all the differences in consciousness, all the arguments, all the troubles that caused you guys to break up, when you bring those files out, then you will not be tempted, because you will now have a balanced information. The sexuality, intimacy, lovey-dovey, all the fun stuff, all the warmth, the coziness, all the psychological security, and all the things, the order that you had created together, the mechanical process that you have created together, through which the order was created. Through the order you had psychological security from your mind, because you had life figured out in a certain way. And you became used to that order. And then, while you have that here, you will also then be able to have all the garbage that went on, all the conflicts, all the disagreement, all the divisions, all the negativities, all the bad stuff that went on between you guys. If you bring that file as well, which doesn't come up by itself, it's always overshadowed by the good stuff. But if you push this up as well, whenever you have you're tempted, then you have a balanced information. Then you will see, okay, no, I'm not gonna put up with that shit just to get that little thing that I'm now hot and bothered by it and want to text her. So your whole life is based on pleasure. You operate on the pain and pleasure. And pleasure is what you're pursuing. So what you really are focusing on is pleasure, the intimacy, the fact that you have a girlfriend or you had a girlfriend and it was really pleasant. And we all know women are very important in our lives and very pleasant to be with a woman, to interact with a woman. Yet, they're also part of the reality that not all consciousnesses could be compatible. And as wonderful it is to know your girlfriend, but it is her consciousness that makes her tick, not her beauty. You cannot have a relationship with beauty. That's why it broke down, because your relationship is with each other's consciousness. And the consciousness of hers and yours were not compatible. You weren't hitting it off on the same stone, on the same rhythm. Therefore, you broke up. If you focus on the fact that your relationship with her was not with her body, with her physical appearance, it was with the content of her consciousness, and that's why it broke down, then you will be clear that, hey, this was a logical decision, and I can't miss her just based on remembering one part of it and not remembering the whole thing. And then you will be clear that no, I am not tempted. And because I'm focusing on pleasure, I want to call her. But I shouldn't focus on pleasure only. And your problem is that when you focus on this pleasure and your reasoning to want to be attempted to, you're attempted to call her, is because you think it's important for you to call her or text her, because you think otherwise pleasure will run away. You're not seeing her as a person that she is. You're seeing her as a representation of pleasure in your life. Look at her for who she is. She's a person, an entity, a human being with physical body. And through that interaction with that physical body and that persona, you reach to a certain pleasure. But that's a fragment of sources where you can get pleasure, not the whole entirety source of pleasure. The problem is you look at her as the only place you can find pleasure. Therefore you think, oh, it's going to run away if I don't grab onto her, if I don't text her, if I don't call her. I'm tempted. Why you're tempted? Because you think that's pleasure that you want to get in contact with. Not that it's a person who is not really compatible with you, who you've had difficulties with. Instead you think the whole concept of the pleasure is her. And that mistake makes you think it's tempting to call her, because I want pleasure and she's pleasure, but she's not pleasure. She's one small fragment source of where you can find pleasure. There are all so many wonderful women out there that you can get to know them, respect them, love them, understand them, see if you guys hit it off perfectly well, or at least good enough, and then you will find the same kind of pleasure, if not more, from that source. So stop looking at her as the only source of pleasure, the pleasure itself. Look at her as a human being through whom you could gain some pleasure, not that she is the source of pleasure. If you do that, you will settle down. You will not be frantically thinking, I have to, I'm tempted to text her. Why? She's got nothing special to offer. So many wonderful other women can offer a lot more than her. Number one would be that they'll be with you. This one has chosen not to be with you, or you have chosen for some reason not to be with each other. So then why would you still think that you should contact her? You had a reason. Now, what you're looking for is available out there. Go, build your life, build something out of yourself, be confident, exude that confidence, and then the girls, other women would be having easy time to give you a chance to get to know you, want to get to know you, interact with you. And that's how you take care of your temptations. Your temptation is not for her. Your temptation is for pleasure. And she is not pleasure. She's a fragment through whom you could attain some pleasure. But there's so many other sources of pleasure out there. Go out there, open your eyes, build your life, become a better version of yourself, and then you will attract a lot more sources of pleasure. And you will see she's not the only source, and there are better sources out there. Now, let me read the rest of your question. Let's see if what I said was relevant to your question, or did I waste my breath? And he says, I keep getting temptations to message my ex, as we've just previously broken up. I also found out that she's now in a relationship with a girl. All right. I keep thinking of all the little minor things, wondering that what she's up to, or if she's sitting in the house herself, this and that. I would love to know if she feels emotional about me, or if she's feeling what I'm feeling, as I was always there for her. I looked after her as she didn't have a job. I took her absolutely everywhere as well. When she was kicked out of her house and moved in with her dad's, I took care of her and made sure I got her back to feeling her normal self. So I am just wondering if she even takes any of that into consideration. What are you, nuts? Doesn't it give you enough reason for you to walk away? You have done so much wonderful things, as I just read, for her. And anyone decent enough would have never forgotten that for the rest of her life. Yet she has broken up with you. And you are now wondering, begging for her thoughts to be thinking of you, not noticing that she broke up with you to go with someone else. It happened to be a girl, doesn't matter. Girl or boy she's with, that's her choice. You're not focused on this fact that she has severed the relationship despite of all the wonderful things you've done for her, yet you still want to be a pleaser for a person who has clearly chosen not to really reciprocate all the kindness. And guess what? I really don't want you to expect anybody to reciprocate your kindness for a relationship. If she's got the hots for you and she can appreciate your character, mentality, your qualities, then you can accept. But you shouldn't be expecting a pity or a thoughtfulness of a person, or for the things that you've done for the person, to be the reason for her to want to be with you. She should want to be with you. She should pursue you. She should do things to make you realize she wants you to be with her. Not that because you did something good and she should have compassion and come to you because you've been good to her. No, you shouldn't even want a person who wants to hang around because you've done nice things for her. She should want to hang around because she respects you, loves you, wants you, desires you, and understands and values your qualities. Now that it's broken up, what are you sitting around? What difference does it make if she's thinking of you or not? First of all, if she wanted to think of you, she wouldn't have been leaving. If she has left, why do you care if she thinks of you or not? Who gives a shit? You shouldn't, at least. You're the one who've done all the good things for her. She's the one who actually proved to you that she's a human being. You can't count on her, like be so, appreciative for the rest of her life. She's going after what makes her tick. You know, everyone is the most important entity in their own life. You're the most important person in your own life. And she is the most important person in her own life. She's going to value her own center, her own desire, what she wants to do, regardless of how much stuff you've done for her. So having that in mind, focus on what I just said before I read your question and see that so much is available, opportunities out there for you. Go get them. She's not the only thing out there. She's not an anomaly. And as you can see, definitely not. With all the things you did for her, she decided to go away, broke up, whatever. So, okay, fine. You know, wish her well. No problems. There's so much more availabilities and possibilities out there. Go find them. Go discover these wonderful women out there. One better than the other one more unique than the other one. Go find them. Obviously, this wasn't your cup of tea. Go find your cup of tea. There's so many women out there looking for a wonderful man like you. Good quality, good character, compassionate, unselfish, giving, large-hearted. Go find someone who can value you. Don't throw your valuable self at someone's feet. For what? Because you're selfish. You're only thinking about your pleasure and you want to lasso pleasure. You're going there for pleasure. Otherwise, if you were going for her persona, her mentality, her personality, her center, her qualities, you can't qualify that person. How can you? She's not qualified to be your girlfriend. But you don't see it because you're only focused on pleasure. Selfishness to make yourself feel good through pleasure rather than being just to yourself and find someone who's suitable and qualified to be your companion. So you're not thinking about your psyche, you're thinking about your donkey. And you shouldn't. You should be fair to yourself. Respect yourself. So go find a quality woman who is going to be into your mind, harmony with you, your consciousness will fit and suit each other, and your each other's physical offerings and characteristics, right? So on that base, go find so many wonderful women out there, I assure you. Kimia, says Mehran. Hello, Kimia. Good to see you here. And Popa says, good evening, Guru Dadbeh. Good evening, my child. I never thought I'd get to an age that I would even jokingly say that. Yes, thank you. I'm no guru. Move on. And there's no bread given here, so stop the compliments. There's something in French I learned from a French friend of mine. He said, dégage, il n'y a pas de pain ici. Go away, there's no bread giving here. Meaning, don't fish for anything. So I thought it's appropriate to choose this, the funny comment here. I had just a call, which I had already programmed the system not to show me a call, but there was. So I had to reject it. It's funny when you choose for a call not to come in. Why does it still come in while you're having a live talk? So guys, I wonder what time it is. Is anyone in the west coast of North America who is here? Because I can't reach my time pieces here. My computers are closed and the phone is now busy with the Facebook. So perhaps it's time for me, there's no more questions. It's time for me to say goodbye. Brenda, what time is it? And where are you, Brenda? Are you in California? 2:24. Popa says, I ain't fishing, just enjoying your knowledge. I know, Popa. I'm kidding around with you. Of course, you understand that. I appreciate your wonderful, pleasant comment and being here. Wonderful to see you here. Brad says, what if she doesn't have my contact info? She's looking to get married, but not with me. And let's see, Brad, was that your question that I responded to anyhow? The book? No, it wasn't. So that's a new person, new question. Popa says I do. Okay, yeah, good. Wow, so we have another book. Somebody heard that I'm just about to leave and throw me another book. That's, let's see. So let's see if I have enough info here to answer this question. Brad Leonard says, what if she doesn't have doesn't have my contact info? I don't understand. Who? Your ex? I'm not clear. How could she not have your contact info? Or is it someone that you don't know? Please, guys, throw me the info. And by the way, remember our deal? I don't know if you guys are familiar with my new rule. I've discussed that with my subscribers and friends on YouTube. When you ask a question, please do let me know where you're tuning in from, because I forget, I don't know. How old you are, and if you're a man or woman. How old you are helps me to know what angle I can discuss your the response to your question, and it helps me to know how properly. And if you're a man or woman, if I know your gender, it helps me to know how to deliver, address, and again, where you're coming from. It helps me to know a little bit about your customs and culture, and again, that can tailor the response. So please help me out in letting me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are if you're a man or a woman, and then your question. So here, right off the bat, I have a problem not knowing. It looks like I'm reading a book from the middle, not from the beginning. It tells me, what if she doesn't know my contact number? Who? Your ex? A new girl? Or someone? She's looking to get married. And again, I'm lost. Suddenly, someone that you don't know or was your ex, and you think doesn't know your information, is looking to get married. I'm lost. Help me out here. Throw me the bone. Give me the info. Dr. Evil here. She's looking to get married, but not with me. So, her loss. And biological clock is ticking. Whose biological? Yours? You don't have a biological clock, or do you? Or hers? I want to retract her because she's no doubt my twin flame. What do you mean, no doubt? If she's your twin flame, why is she trying to marry somebody else? Are you delusional right now, or you're fooling yourself? Or somehow you've created that illusion that she's your twin flame, but she doesn't know it. So she, okay, I'm lost. Maybe it's a whole different story and I'm reading it wrong. There's a deep, dark hole in my heart. The pressure to get her back is heavy. There should be no pressure for you to get back. You only desire people who want to be with you. You cannot, should not, must not want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you or doesn't appreciate you enough. What's the use? You think by marrying someone on a piece of paper, register your names, that's enough for them to stick around and be loyal and bring about and help to build a good life? No, that's just nonsense. So you got to qualify the person before you think that they are, qualified to be your companion. The pressure to get her back is heavy. The universe cheated an epic meet-up at a shopping mall. Oh, the universe created an epic meet-up at a shopping mall, and she told me she met someone and he's 6'7". 6'7", giant. That can't be. I remember just recently I watched a beautiful woman comedian, very hot actually, and she was, and she's very well known and popular, and she was doing a comedy show, and she said, you know, in her thing, she said, you know, the guy was 6'7" or 6'6", and she said, that's can't be, you know, hot, and no giant is hot. I mean, it's, after a certain height, it's just nothing, nothing, in her opinion, nothing hot. So 6'7" is not, is good for basketball, but is not necessarily something that girls are looking for, you know. Maybe some girls who think being tall has any connection with being protective or being capable or being successful. Nothing further than the truth. Has nothing to do with it. Most famous, successful scholars, rich people in the world are average height. Yeah? So don't let that become something positive in your mind. Whatever seems positive to that girl is limited to her, not necessarily how other girls think. So don't be fooled by trying to put yourself down or think of yourself not highly qualified just because somebody is what? Taller or whatever. And he says, that doesn't bother me, but how to get her back in my life before she marries? Why should you? Why the hell do you want to get married with someone who is not ready to be with you 100% and has preferred to go after some, I don't know, somebody else for whatever reason? Looks, height, weight, I don't care. It's just not the right sort of. I bet you're a pretty young boy, that you don't have enough confidence in you, haven't accomplished much in your life, and you're just on the physical world, and you think all your ammunitions are in your physical appearance, and all the importance that a girl can have is in her appearance, and that's what you're hung up on, rather than opening your eyes and seeing the fact that she's not qualified just for the fact that she's not with you, or she's marrying somebody else, or whatever illusions you have, and that somebody taller is better than you, all that bullshit that has no basis of any kind. You make relationship with your psyche, with your consciousness, with the compatibility, with harmony, with the woman, with the girlfriend, with your candidate. So, and he says, but now to get her back in my life before she marries, you've created an urgency which has no urgency at all. The woman who doesn't want to marry you is totally disqualified. You don't want to marry a woman who wants to marry somebody else. That's a disqualification. But you don't think much of yourself. That's why you're running around just because she looks good, or she looks in a certain way, or whatever reason, which I can't really fathom what it is. But you need to sit down by yourself and think about rethinking your life, and figure out how you can, advance in this life, and learn more things and accomplish more things and become a better version of yourself. Then you will have certain standards and expectations from a woman that you want to be partnered with, and then you will qualify them. Not just to sit there for somebody to feel sorry for you, or for some reason to say, oh yeah, that's a universal decision. No, no such thing. You make your luck. Go find a better girl. That girl is not qualified just for the fact that she's looking around for somebody else. So that should be, you ask any girl what kind of a guy that they would prefer or think is qualified to be with them, they're not going to say the guy who's looking around. The guy who's sure that this is the girl, and they both feel the same way. So learn from them. And he says, although I am always my best under pressure. What pressure? You think it's so important for you to get that girl. No, life goes on, and life has its opportunities and ups and downs. It's got nothing to do with you get this girl who represents certain kind of a pleasure for you, or makes you feel affirmed, and your limitation in finding affirmation value in yourself is through her, is sad. You should not have a dependency on the opinion of this girl for your evaluation. You should be independent in that, and regardless of who likes you or doesn't like you, you're with or not with, your value and affirmation should not be dependent on that. And you get your valuation and your affirmation through your activities and contribution to the society, to the world, to your own life, and what you make out of yourself. That is where you become amazing, not through having a girlfriend. Dime a dozen. Go find a good girlfriend. And now he says, what to do. And although I'm always my best under pressure, so maybe it's good. What to do, Veronica? Talk to me, girl. Thanks. I don't understand. Were you talking to me or to Veronica? At the end, I'm just saying all that wasn't for me. Huh? Or are you giving a message in case she's watching this? Anyhow, Popa says, I do say, oh yes, we read that. Stian says, I don't want you to leave, Mehran. I like listening to you. Okay, I'm here. We got a book that finally at the end I thought it was mine, but it was not written for me. It was for Veronica. Popa says, I guess Mr. M has stuff to deal with. Otherwise, he wouldn't leave us. Well, actually, there was no question that's why I thought maybe I should leave and get out of your hair. Otherwise, I'm here. If there's, as long as there's questions here, I'm here. Gabriel of Birelli says, hello, dear. And Sonia says, hi, Mehran Jun. Hello, Sonia Jun. Good to see you, dear. So I guess I'm here now that we got more people. So I hang around. If there are questions, I'd be more than happy to hang around. If there are not, then we'll decide then. So we've been here, I think, for an hour. We've had a few nice questions with long answers, and I think they would deserve to be uploaded individually as a trimmed portion of this live talk for their own topic. I think it would be rather helpful, encouraging, inspirational for the people who may be concerned about the same kind of question. But hopefully you guys have gone and click on subscribe button on the YouTube channel and not just waiting for here, because most of our live talks have been for the past 2 years. We have now 231, 32 live talks on YouTube, but YouTube is having technical problems, and we are invisible when we go live since 2 weeks ago. And we had worked hard to increase our audience, and it was very successful, and our live talks would last 3 to 4 hours sometimes. So many questions. But recently, I can sit there for many minutes and no one shows up, while in the past, within seconds, and I mean second, like 1, 2, or 3 seconds sometimes, we had audience, because we were people were being alerted. The ones who clicked on subscribe and clicked on the bell and chose the option alert always, all the time, not just sometimes, they would quickly see that we are live. But past 2 weeks, we are non-existent. I mean, we were found accidentally in the past. Now we are totally non-existent because nobody sees we're live. So that's why I'm here. And we hope that you guys will go to YouTube and click subscribe if you haven't, and join us live when we eventually go back to YouTube, which is more convenient and reaches lots of people around the world. Ediri says, just got home. Oh, hello, Ediri. Remember, guys, our protocol is to let me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, if you're a man or woman, because I can't necessarily see the pictures or find out from your names, because names are beautifully coming from different nationalities, and I'm not so familiar with everyone's pronunciation or type of name. Popa says sometimes this turns into a pseudo-comedy stream. Yes, yes, it is. It is, Popa. That's our signature move. Stian says, I wish you all the best, Mehran. You're the best. Well, thank you, Stian. I am delighted to hear that you enjoy the channel. Valid is watching. Okay. Ediri says, how long would it take before you're back on YouTube? Based in Netherlands. Ediri, I have been in touch with YouTube people during the past 2 weeks, and they have promised me that they have recognized that this is a technical, confirmed technical problem, and they're hard at work to resolve it. So what else can I say other than appreciating their efforts? Now, how hard they're working, it will show as soon as, how long it takes, by how long it takes for them to fix it. So far, it's been 2 weeks, And all the efforts that we had made to become more popular, more visible on YouTube, gone for now. That's why I'm relying on you guys to help promote the channel on your social media, or the people connections that you may have in medias such as newspaper, radio programs, television programs, somebody, some medium who would be interested to do an interview with us and write a little bit of a note on who we are, what we do, which I'm now convinced we have made life-changing differences around the world, and we continue to do so. But we need popularity and more subscribers in order to bring more viewers into the channel, so we will get some revenue from the advertisements on the channel on YouTube, so we will have abilities to do more things, have better equipments, and allocate more time, and so on and so forth. So if you guys have a way to help us to be known more, please do. Popa says, healing hearts and having a laugh whilst we're doing it, by Mehran Dadbeh and friends. Yes, that should be the way. That should be the way. That is how this channel should operate. We are here to live. We are here to survive. We're here to show that we understand our powers. We understand the disappointments that we may encounter in our lives, but we're equipped. We are confident. We can do it. Why? Because so many before us have, and so much information and knowledge is available, and some of it through me, or the masters of hundreds of years ago, which I learned the nucleus of the information, and been able to expand on it, or deliver it in a way that is more palatable or digestible to people. And so this is what we are here for. We know we can do it, and we are here to prove that everybody in the world who goes through difficulties of relationship, breakups, and so on, or some questions that they have about their own psyche, who they are, how they're put together, how they tick, we are here for that. We are here to help everybody know they're powerful, and they're far more than what they can see in the mirror. And that is something interesting. You know, you're more than what you can see in the mirror. I just made that up. That's pretty good. So, Popa says, armed to the teeth. There you go. That's right. Oh, Popa. We can all survive. We can all survive. This whole business of relationship is part of life. It's not the end of life. It's on a stage of learning. And the good thing about it is you become more powerful than you ever thought you will. Just reminds me of the scene in Star Wars where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in the Death Star were doing the final duel. And Obi-Wan said, if you strike me, I will be more powerful than you've ever imagined, or something of that effect. And here it is. After a breakup, with what you learn and how you handle it, how you interact with it, how you manage it, you've been struck, but you become more powerful than you could ever imagine. And you will find far happier situations in the future endeavors and relationships that you will find. And every time you'll become better and better until you, through these frictions and interactions and experiences, you will become rounded like a rock, a sharp edges rock that was thrown, rolling down from top of the mountain, and through this rolling down and hitting and bouncing here and there, it ended up with rounded up, smoothened up corners, and can roll fast, and nothing can stop it from its journey on this path of the life that you have taken on. So every one of these experiences helps you to become more equipped, smoother running, smarter, wiser, which definitely ensures better future relationships, stronger and smarter interactions with your candidates yet to present themselves. Now, Stian says, what kind of tea do you drink, Mehran? Well, today I'm drinking a tea that is from raspberries, pomegranates, hibiscus, and a few other herbs in it. It's actually pretty cheap, and it's herbal tea, and I think it's twining. It's, let's see. Yeah, it's twining. It's tea bag, nothing extraordinary, and so it's pretty good though. It's wonderful. Tastes good, smells good, all natural. Popa says, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. In the other words, yeah, pretty much. That is one way to say it, absolutely. Stian says, what's your favorite kind of tea? Well, you know, I used to drink lots of tea. And this drinking tea had a story. If you want, I can tell you the story. But before I do, say yes or no. Then I'll know you guys want to hear the story. Until then, I will hold my remarks. Ediri says, love twining tea. Pretty English. Yes, English. Stian says yes. That's only one yes. Oh, there is Brenda says yes. Okay, good. Now we're getting there. Come on. We've got whole 4 people here. Only 50% say yes. We got to be over 50%. See, it's democratic here. Over 50%. Come on now. One more yes. Popa says, tea time stories with Mehran, the author. Yes, that's right, tea time stories. Popa, where's your yes? If you give me a yes, then I'll go for it. We have 2 yeses, that's 50% of the 4 watching. We need more. There we go. Ediri breaks the tie. So, I used to like Assam tea with cardamom. And sometimes I would buy the cardamom pods and just, once the tea was, I was putting the loose tea in tea bag, in German organic tea bags. I don't like the regular tea bags. They're not necessarily of good quality. So I prefer to have loose tea, put it in tea bag, and then before it, I would break a few of the cardamom pods and throw it in there. Assam and Ceylon, I think, mixed. But why do I actually like tea? Well, we used to have to study in high school for hours and hours, especially before exams. And being a normal kid, you know, I would leave it up to the last minute. A few nights before the exam, we would start studying hard to the wee hours of night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I remember my father would come to the room that I was studying in the middle of the night. God bless his soul, my father has passed. I loved him so much. And he would say, it's enough studying, go to sleep. You need to be fresh. It's not good to stay up for what? Doesn't matter. You had enough. Go to sleep. And he was always so liberal on that, and I appreciate that. So anyhow, so we used to study a lot. So the tea was keeping me company and making me feel I'm drinking tea and I'm doing something and studying, bringing me more focus, so to speak, because I was doing something other than studying, which would put me to sleep. So the study itself, the fact that I was doing something, or the fact that there was tea, it was kind of cozy. It was very cozy, let's put it this way. But that's how, you know, and tea drinking was part of the traditional thing where I was, you know, born and being raised. But the studying would make it a little bit more intense to have this samovar or the tea making apparatus be there and then pour tea in the middle of the night and feel cozy and feel like focused and doing the thing. However, the real reason, and even though if I didn't have tea, didn't drink the tea, I would like to have a tea because it brought coziness. But the real reason that tea became so important, psychologically important for me and to me, and it became a friend to be there whether I wanted to drink it or not, had the psychological reason for that. And the reason for was this. I used to be very, very much interested in horses and horseback riding. And I had grade A, the highest degree of quality of equestrian training with the master trainer, Colonel Neshati, who was like a father to me. My father knew him, and he was upstanding individual, very disciplined, a military man, of course, and he loved his students, and one of them was me, who he especially was fond of, like his son. And I learned a lot from him, and to me he was a great role model, especially for you know, young teenagers who are looking for, you know, role models. And he definitely was a disciplined man, very with good manners and good things to teach, and an expert in the riding. He got his education from a military school of riding in Saumur, France, which top of the world were being trained there. So he was a very high echelon of teacher, and he's just recently recognized by the School of Riding, Saumur, just about half a month ago, which some of the students, all the students, were able to go to France, to Saumur, and participate in that ceremony. So the relation to this tea thing is that when we were being trained, there were lots of us in the arena, and the training was tough. He was totally disciplined, and nobody would not be focused. We were all focused. We were doing our best. But after the long training of that session, it was run, you know, he was a colonel, and the stables were being attended to by the soldiers, which were volunteer soldiers from the base to help with this club, because club had some affiliation to the Royal Horse Society of Iran at the time, so they were using resources. So when the training would finish, elaborate training of maybe 30, 40 riders, all kids, all teenagers, different ages and different levels, and that elaboration and discipline training would end, and we would all dismount and take care of the horses, and eventually the horses were in their stalls, and we would gather around the colonel for stories, for experiences, for questions. And he would usually call the attendants, or the helpers, and would call us by name, whoever has done well that day, which I was one of them most of the time, all the time probably. He always would say, "Bring tea for Mr. Mehran," and he would call us by Mr. Everybody, young kids, but he was so respectful to all of us. So this idea of receiving tea, specifically, everybody could get tea, but calling our name in specific to the soldiers who were manning the kitchen, for example, of the club, and asking them so nicely to bring tea and addressing it to a name, and in my case, my name. So bring tea for me. So when we would receive tea, we would know that we had done well that day. We had done good training with the horse. He's satisfied, pleased with our training quality. That would give us a tremendous boost of happiness and progress. And we are ready, closer, getting ready for the competitions. And that the colonel, with all his credentials, is actually affirming our training with the signal of bring him tea. So for years that continued, for the time that I was training. So it conditioned me to see tea as a happy moment, as a satisfactory, as a sign of satisfaction and sign of things going well, sign of things being relaxed, sign of me having progressed. So, to me, tea has a psychological effect of happiness, being progressing, and having accomplished something out of extraordinary, and having done an important task, because the trainings were not easy. So that's the whole idea of me being inseparable with tea. And even though if I don't drink it, I like a tea just there anyhow. Now, that's the elaborate answer or the story of the tea. I hope you enjoyed it. Diri says, cardamom tea sure has its own particular taste, flavor, smell, at least in good. Love it in stews. Yeah, okay. Popa says, good story. Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. But of course, a little later on, then I tried to find the tea that I would enjoy drinking it, because I drank lots of tea. Recently, for the past year, I've put it aside, just drink herbal tea. Okay, guys, I think we've answered all the questions. Have we not? Let's see. Stian says, so your favorite tea is cardamom tea, Mehran? Well, actually, my favorite tea these days, I'm still looking for it, to be honest with you. I like this tea that I just mentioned, the raspberry, pomegranate, hibiscus, and stuff like that. But I don't think I still have found my favorite tea. At the time when I was drinking black tea, I enjoyed it thoroughly. But I thought I want to cut down on the amount of caffeine in it, and I somehow put it aside in favor of not having caffeine in my system. And I gravitated toward herbal tea, and now I just drink that. Chamomile or these sort of teas. That's it. So I'm still searching. Sometimes for fun, I go to special tea stores and look what they have. But there are lots of exotic tea, but they're weird. Like, there are all kind of fruits in them, and they're like overly mixed up just to sell something, but they're not really. They pretty much look like a salad now. Mango and strawberry. And I can do that at home. I can have sometimes a little bit of a cranberry juice, pure, and hot water. That's enough for me. Or some cherries, sour cherries, I squeeze them and put hot water. That's also. But when I go to some tea stores, they're just overbearing sometimes. All these sweet stuff, the apple and raisins and, and ananas, the pineapple, and I don't know, strawberries and mangoes, and it's just sweet, too sweet and whatnot. It's just like a salad. And I'm looking for real tea with no caffeine, or at least not much, but some special taste. I haven't found it yet, but I'm searching still. And Brenda says, tea and coffee is comfort. Yes. My father liked coffee more than tea. My mother the same. But I never gravitated toward coffee. I remember in university, we were a student. We didn't have much money then. I mean, we had enough to be comfortable. But there was this new coffee from General Food International Coffee had come out in small metal boxes, very fancy looking. And I happened to splurge and bought one can of it or container of it. And it was so delicious. It was so amazingly delicious because it was mixed with, I think, cocoa and some mint and things like that. But it was expensive. At the time, this size of it, $3. But now $3 is like chicken feed. It's nothing. But then we're talking about 2 years ago. Gee, that old I am. Holy macaroni. $3 was a lot. And so we couldn't afford to have that all the time. So, and coffee, with caffeinated coffee, would not sit well with me anyhow. I would like then decaffeinated coffee for taste. When I was a child, when we had guests, it was traditional that mom would make Turkish coffee. Even though we were not living in Turkey, but Turkish coffee is famous around the world. The style of making, it's like espresso, but made on the stove, right there, not in these special Italian machines. And I had learned how to make it too. And then we would make it, and I would drink it too, just little cups like this, like espresso. And the tradition was we would then put the saucer on top of the cup when you had finished drinking it. And the residuals were there, the kind of a mud of the coffee was still there. So we would then invert it and leave it there for it to dry. Then you would pick up the cup, and the cup inside, all around inside the wall of the cup, you'd had shapes drawn by this mud of the coffee that is now dried. And a certain person in the group, in the guests, was had a special talent to tell your fortune. Like you're about to go on a travel because she sees a aircraft there, or you will fall in love, or these sort of things at that age was so important for boys and girls to kind of know about their future, if they will be rich or not. So all these things were like tradition. So even though I drank once in a while that kind of a coffee when I was a kid, but in university it didn't sit well with me, so I drank decaffeinated. Coming back to the international coffee tin, so we learned a trick. Even though it was so delicious, but we couldn't afford it, or we didn't want to spend the money, we wanted to spend it on some other stuff. So we learned the trick would be get a regular decaffeinated coffee, which was cheap, and then throw a Certs mint. There was a mint candy called Certs, which was advertised at the time that if you have a girlfriend, you want to, you guys want to kiss, you better have Certs first, so you have fresh breath. But we decided this candy was delicious, so we threw the candy in the decaffeinated cup of coffee, and it was exactly same taste as the coffee that we had to pay for it, and it was expensive. So coffee is also a wonderful, and my father always said, why don't you have some coffee? I said, no, I don't drink it. My father also liked to have a glass of beer or glass of wine with his dinner. And he always said, when are you going to be normal, Mehran, and sit down and have a glass of wine with your dad? I said, Dad, I love you, but, beer or drinks, makes me quiet, and I don't like to have alcohol in my system. While, of course, we did drink some when we were in school after soccer games or martial art tests. We would go out for a banquet with our teachers and the whole school, and we would drink tequila or sake. But at the time we didn't know it's not really good for you, and we were kids. But when I grew up, I stayed away from all that. So my father would say, why don't you become normal? And I'm still not normal. Now you guys know everything. And Popa says, too fruity. Yeah. Popa says ananas for the win. Yeah, that's right. Stian says, thank you for your answer. You're welcome, Stian. Candice, hello, interested in unlocking my mind. Okay. Okay, Candice. This is the first time you're here, Candice. I thought I've seen your name in the past when we had live talks on Facebook, but now, of course, we have it on YouTube, and for the time being, we're back on Facebook. And Idris says, lol, no way. Candice says, it's first time. Okay. Well, we have been sharing stories while we're waiting for questions to come up. We had a few nice, deep questions that we've discussed. But while we're waiting, we could be talking about anything else just to pass the time. So if you have a question, Candice, please do fire it up, and I'll be more than happy to address it. Ediri says decaf and toffee. And Candice says first live. Oh, I see. I normally just watch YouTube videos. Oh, so you know our channel on YouTube. Lovely. And Candice says, I'm interested in the unlocking of the mind. Yes, Candice, and that is the name of our channel. Through understanding the relationship between consciousness and thoughts, where thinking comes from, where thoughts comes from, how consciousness is put together, what is our conditioning, what is the role of fear in our lives, and what about desire? How is that born? What is the role of pleasure and ego in our center, in who we are, how we function, how we tick, and how we negotiate in this journey of life? These are the topics that we discuss on the channel on YouTube. Breakups, Life, and Your Psyche is the name of the channel on YouTube. These are some of the topics that we discuss, and there's a playlist called The Psyche. If you go on my channel and look for the playlist The Psyche, you will have all this information, the relationship and interaction of these fragments of our psyche that I just named them, in there discussed in number of videos, which will help you to unlock your mind and do not be simply looking at life and interact with life with the eye of the past. Because whenever you're actually interacting or exchanging with the experience of life or something that is happening to you, you often are deviated. As soon as you recognize what it is, then you're in memory trying to compare it to some other similar circumstance that you experienced in the past, and no longer you're focusing on what is really happening here and now. You are in your memories, which is, memory is the past, therefore you're no longer here, you're in the past. And your understanding of the whole thing is based on all the other fragments which we talked about: desire, ego, fear, pleasure, and conditioning. And you seldom are in the present moment dealing and focus on the efforts that you're making in negotiation of what is facing you. Instead, you're living a second-hand life, which is what you see, you perceive it, and you deal with it based on the information and the experience you had in your memory of a similar circumstance, and you never really deal with this. And later on, you may use this experience to deal with something else. So these are all fragments and the points and topics that we discuss, and helps you to unlock your mind, in short. But here we are as the name of the live streaming, and you can ask your questions on what concerns you, and I will try to address it as best as possible. And Candice says, oh, gotcha, okay. Candice says, do you think that everything happens when it is supposed to? Good question. Does life unfold in any kind of order? Divine timing. The last question, I don't know. There's enough evidence to show that there are interferences that happens when you did not have any reason for it to happen, hadn't done really anything for it to happen. And there are good and bad stuff about it too. We're not talking about the bad stuff. Bad stuff are always bad. There's nothing divine about that. Or if there is, I don't understand it yet. But the good stuff, there are lots of good stuff that you didn't have any part of it, but it happens. So again, there's no exact clear opinion on that. We let the life unfold, and at the end of it, perhaps we may come to some kind of a conclusion or understanding. But as far as, do I think that everything happens when it is supposed to happen, I have no choice but say yes, because of a very small sentence that perhaps you can go deep in it and get it. I say yes because it has. Because it is. What it is is because it is. Therefore, it must have been designed, and it happened when it had to happen, because it did happen. I know it could be confusing a bit, but if you look deep into what I'm saying, yes, things happen when it's supposed to happen. Why? Because you're judging on the ones that has happened, and they did happen. So therefore, they happen when they're supposed to happen. So when they happened was the time that they were supposed to happen. But if you're telling me, do they happen when we actually need them to happen? I don't know. I know that there is an intelligence in this universe. The universe does have an intelligence. When you look into every little thing that's happening, the trees from a seed being born, the whole discipline of things, the fish in the water, the heartbeat. It's the exchange of energy of the universe that help us all survive and live and continue reaching and being replenished with the energy, from the energy that is flowing from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in all directions. These are the energies that's flowing in the universe, is available and helps everything to develop and grow, including us, including the heartbeat, including everything else that happens. There's an energy behind it. Now, we happen to have some kind of a say in redirecting, diffusing, or bouncing this energy toward things that then they happen. And if we weren't here, that energy wouldn't bounce on me or pass through me and be extended towards something else that I chose to focus on. So if I wasn't here, that thing that develops and gets energized and comes to fruition would have not in that time frame, because I am a capacitor. I am what the energy of the universe that travels from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe from all directions passes through me, and I become the center of the universe. I become center of the universe. And when it passes through me and continues its journey to the other end of the universe, it also is directed by me, controlled and directed toward the things that I choose to extend this energy. Therefore, their development and growth is based on, and the fact, for the reason that I exist. That's why every one of us are so important in this life, that even though if we are not directly doing or making a difference in something, but we are, because the fact that the energy has to pass through us, that's why we're alive. And then it, because we are here, bounces us or is extended towards something that if we were not here, it would pass through, not be redirected to anything else, not affect something else, someone else, and then that someone else would not in turn affect something that they wanted to do, or that plant or animal or whatnot would not be affected according to that energy having been extended and directed towards them. So if you can understand what I'm trying to say, is every one of us is very important, because our existence makes a difference whether we know it or not. Just for the fact that, the fact that the energy coming through us extended in different directions because of the capacitor that we are, the difference, the catalyst that we are, the change of direction and focus that we make on that key, on that energy that passes through us, which originated from one end of the universe to the other, having the chance to pass through our center. So, therefore, I guess we can say yes. I hope that was confusing enough. Popa says, right place at the right time for the good of others, and in turn for the good of oneself is a thing in my personal life experience. Brenda says yes, and synchronicity is amazing if you are open to it. Yes, but there are lots of mysteries still there. However, that's the beginning of learning the whole secrets and mystery of the universe. We need to think that we are not separated. We are all connected, and definitely connected with the energy that's emanating from the universe. And we are part of makeup of this universe. We are not the litter of the universe. We are part of the makeup of this. We are the fragments of this jigsaw puzzle. We are the fragments of this whole 1,000-piece picture of the universe. We are the universe. We are part of how this universe is shaping up. And we don't notice that. We think we're just a piece of non-importance of it. We are the mirrors that shines through every corner of the universe. The energy comes through us, passes through us, expands to different directions according to our focus. And therefore, we are the mirrors that bounces these light toward everything else in the universe. We are part of the makeup of the universe. We are the universe. We make this universe to be what it is. Yet we think we're so puny and we are not counted. We have to realize we are one with the whole. We are never alone. We are one with the humongous power that has given life to this whole organism of the universe, organization of the universe. Knowing that you will find capabilities, you will find command that you can make things happen in your life as best as you can. You can make a difference. There we go. That's all I have to say about that. And we have Adiri says, lol, love the term interference. Makes me think of the GPS system. When we get lost, we have to recalculate and get back on track. Or do we go on different track? Aida Khan says, not many people are aware of this quantum energy universe. Hello, Aida. How are you, dear? So I hope you guys had enough of me today. I think it's time for me to let you guys go. And Aida usually comes and and extends her energy towards the end of the talk. I love you all. I hope you had a good time, and thank you for giving me your time to share all these things, a little different opinions here and there with you guys. And thank you, Aida, dear. I'm good. And Brenda says thank you again. You're quite welcome. I hope that I'll talk to you guys soon, and hope that the YouTube channel will be getting rid of its glitch and we could get back to it. And please, if you haven't signed up with YouTube, please do. And let's see what else we have here, because I have Popa says we had enough of you for today, Mehran. Okay, yes, I thought so. Brenda says you're a great teacher. Thank you, Brenda, dear. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like the channel. And Ida says I was giving myself spa time. Ah, okay, good. And have a good day. Thank you very much, Ida. Okay, guys, look forward to talk to you soon, and hope we will get back on YouTube as soon as possible. If you haven't signed up at YouTube or subscribed to YouTube, please do, and share the videos you like on your social media. Help us to grow. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now. I mean, bye for now.